What's going on, everybody? Today we are back working on the Bronco again. Let's get this thing up on the lift and get started. It's so crazy seeing this thing on the lift. Like, we built this entire thing, we did the entire axle swap in this garage, but not on a lift. I don't know, just kind of cool to see the growth. Anywho, this guy is who we need right here. Hooty-doy. Okay. Got the front drive line. I extended it since we did the manual swap. If you don't remember, the truck was an automatic. I swapped it to a manual because the automatic blew up on me while I was in Moab. And when you swap to a manual transmission, the transmission's longer, pushing the T-case back, causing me to have to shorten my rear drive line, but that was cheap because it was just cut and weld, and then extend the front drive line, which was expensive because you need a new tube when you extend the front drive line. Anyways, enough rambling, let's get this thing installed. So before we can put the drive shaft in, I actually have to fix the shifter linkage for the T-case. All I'm doing to fix this is make a little extension linkage out of some sheet metal. Now that it's installed, let's make sure we can run through all of our four-wheel drive options. And now we can put the drive line in. So I realized the U-joint bolts I bought are a different style than the ones that's on my yoke. I decided just to drill out the yoke because the U-bolt style ones are easier to come by. You can call me Papa. We have four-wheel drive, baby. So nice to see a front drive line in this thing. While I was there, since the drive shaft kind of let a lot of opening, I replaced my speed sensor. This is my old one that's still in the dash. And as you can see, let's see if we can get it to focus. It's super curved because the wheel wore it down, and so my speedo doesn't work. The one I got out of my parts Bronco is straight, so hopefully that makes a difference. That's the end of the one I got from the other Bronco. So yeah, next on the list, we gotta tear into the dash. So let's scoot this thing forward and work on the inside. You know what, I'm curious if this thing will start again. I haven't thrown the battery charger on it in a while. It's just kind of sat. I'm gonna fire it up, see what happens. All right, bro, don't let me down. Needs the chooch. It's a brick-nosed Bronco. Of course you need to have a can of starting fluid with you at all times. So the next few things that I want to get done are just involving right here on the dash. We got to put the new speedo cable into the cluster. I want to get my cluster lights to work because the backlights don't work at all. So I got to check some voltages and just figure out what's going on with it. And my wipers have never worked on this thing. Every time I turned them on, they just made this weird like clicky buzzy noise. I think the wiper controller that's somewhere back here in the dash is messed up, but I got one from the parts Bronco that I had a couple years ago. So we're gonna try and swap all that out. So let's place you guys to a better angle and start pulling this cluster arrangement out. I think I'm gonna try and delete this automatic shifter arm here. There's a pin here. I'm gonna try and pound it out and hopefully this just pops out after that. We'll see. Aha! Success! just pulled the switch. We got the headlights and the wipers here. Fucking wiper here, headlight here. And then I'm just kind of pulling on this because this is what I was looking for right here. Is there a connector? Yes, sir. I'm really hopeful that this is all we have to replace. All right, I found it, but my dumbass cut the connector to plug it back in. So let's go to the bench and patch this thing up. In case the wipers turn on. Nada. Box is clicky. Here, let me mute the... You hear it? Okay, that sounds like a motor issue. The motor's making really weird like noises, so I guess I'm buying a new motor. That sucks because they're probably not gonna be cheap, but that works. So we'll tuck the controller box back and then start messing with the gauge cluster lights. Okay, so I grabbed the back of my gauge cluster here. I found all the bulbs and I just started kind of tracing the little copper back to find where the light comes from. I figured out the ground because it's labeled ground and then it's all tied into other light bulbs. So obviously that'll be the ground. So then I found the hot pin right here. So now I'm gonna find it on the connector, turn the headlights on and check voltage, and that'll be the first thing I do. This guy with the connector sitting right here, 4th pin down. So that guy right there. I'm assuming I don't have voltage. We'll see what happens. All right, gotta find a solid ground. All right, so here's my discovery. This is my headlight switch. This little knob right here is a built-in resistor because that resistor controls the voltage for all the cluster bulbs. So that's how you are able to dim them and brighten them, is you lower the voltage on them. You know, you got a little drag here, and I couldn't figure, when I was looking at this, I couldn't figure out where it was like actually like resisting from. So then I grabbed my parts Bronco headlight switch, and if you look, this one has a little tab right here that the little coil spring rides on, so it's able to adjust and dim, right? So yeah, mine does not have said tab. Tab here, no tab here. So this one's junk. We're gonna throw in this one, and then we should have cluster lights. And you know what, I just realized, so I already confirmed we're going to get voltage to the pin, but I also have a light bulb right here. So if this light bulb turns on when I turn the headlights on, that means it works. Ready? Ayo! Can you see that? Oh yeah. Sick, I will have cluster lights. I will have cluster lights. You don't realize how important those are until you don't have cluster lights. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's put this back together. All right, let's confirm that the actual gauge cluster lights up. Oh, she lights up. She lights up. Hell yeah. Oh, my heater, my HVAC shit lights up too. That's so nice. That's gonna be so nice. Okay, finish putting this back together. Okay, so one of the next things I want to tackle is this shifter boot situation. I got this one pretty decent from a junkyard, but it was never properly screwed down. I just kind of had it there. Luckily the foam's still intact, so it's still a little bit of insulation. Not quite though, because you can see the floor right through it, but it's It's better than nothing. So I need to put that on, drill the holes, because I can't find them. And I think it'll be easier just to drill more holes. And it's also a bit of a challenge with the shitty ass vinyl floor. I heavily regret getting vinyl floor from Rock Auto. And this shifter boot is also really messed up, and I don't have the foam insert. I don't have the insulation at all on this one. As you can see, I couldn't really find any foam, any of that factory foam, except for on eBay, and it was kind of expensive. So I found this guy on Amazon. Got this new insert, which this will provide some insulation and some sound deadening. And this is a brand new boot that's still intact. There was a lot of mixed reviews. As you can see, there's only 4 clips holding this in, and a few of them probably popped out during shipping. But the factory Ford one does this as well. Okay, I got the boots on. I had to take the shifter off, and I had to take the knob off, which was kind of a pain. But they're in. I got them up so I can still work with it. Because the M50D has a stupid shifter design where you got to put it in like this, and then there's a nut here that holds this into place, and then you're supposed to take the nut and tighten it on this side to pull it out. But my threads on this are gummed, so there's no putting a nut back on that. And I could probably buy a new one of these bolts, and I probably should have at this point, but yeah, I just don't have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove it in position, and then I electrical tape around the outside edges, and then I electrical tape around the whole thing. And then it stayed in place on me so far, so hopefully that's it. Alright, this is just for you M50D guys. See, I wrapped the whole thing around, but I also got the threads itself in electrical tape. And this is how I did it last time, and it worked fine. So hopefully it works for the same amount of time again. Yeah, there she is, all sealed up. We actually have an insulation underneath, but yeah, like I was saying, it's a really dumb design because the whole thing just floats above. All right, let's see here. What? Okay, my apologies for the technical difficulties. I took this on and off twice now. The first time was to fix the shifter because it was super sloppy. I got it solid now. When I wrapped the tape, I pulled it the wrong direction and it pulled the pin out. I needed to pull the tape this way, so I wrapped it this way. Now it's good. And then I put it back on, and this boot ended up getting twisted 180, and it was folding all sorts of weird. It's still kind of folding weird, but now it's making more sense. Now it's folding how it should be. And it's weird. I can like feel the resistance from the boot to get into second and fifth. I think she just needs a worn in. I'm glad that's done. It feels even like a better shifter now too, so that's awesome. Now let's tackle this demon. Okay, the interior is looking so good in this thing. It is so nice. I don't have the automatic shifter. The manual shifter looks proper. The four-wheel drive shifter looks proper. It's actually secure. I couldn't get this front screw in, but it's solid, so it doesn't matter. I can shift. I can shift easily because I don't got to push down for the neutral, which is nice. And yeah, it's just so good, especially that. That needed to go a long time ago. This feels so much better. Okay, now we gotta get this wiper motor fixed, which means I gotta go buy a wiper motor. So let's fast forward till tomorrow when I have the wiper motor.
Tomorrow for sure.
Alrighty, let's get this wiper motor swapped out. I got this guy from Amazon because it is the exact same brand as the AutoZone one for 20 bucks cheaper, and I got it next day shipped, so might as well. And I also got some wiper blades from Amazon, a pair for 20 bucks. So I was able to buy a wiper motor and 2 brand new wiper blades for the cost of 1 wiper motor at AutoZone. So just double check that the connectors are the same, which they are. This is a 2-plug, that's a 2-plug. There's a little bit involved in this. You have to take the wiper arms off, which have to do something with this little clip here. And then you just gotta take a bunch of Phillips screws off here, and then the wiper cowl comes out. So let's get started. The cowl. Okay, that wasn't that bad of a job. It would have been easier with 2 people, but that's okay. So now I gotta figure out how to disconnect that, and then we can unbolt the motor. Alrighty, everything's back together. Motor is hooked up. It's moment of truth time. Let's see if this thing actually works. Keep the door shut so we don't have to hear that annoying ass ding. Oh, hang on. Okay. Yo, I have wipers. All right, we're gonna turn those off because those are the old stinky wipers. Yeah, that was successful. All right, let's do some YouTube magic and put the brand new blades on here. Ta-da! I also cleaned the windshield too, because you gotta do that when you get fresh wiper blades, but very, very nice. And what a good video. I love being able to just check all the things off the list, not really having any issues or anything. We're able to actually like finish everything. So awesome. Stay tuned. We got a couple more things we gotta do, and then we are off to taking this thing camping in the middle of winter. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.